Welcome everyone in live to the virtual Daytona International Speedway for another Thursday night here at PGR eSports for the Intimidator Superspeedway Series. And it is going to match up with the Cup Series race this Saturday night at Daytona. And we're going to be under the lights as well as these drivers battle for 65 laps here tonight in the next gen. They'll have 40% fuel in their fuel cells, 2 sets of tires, no fast repairs, fixed setups, and actually only be 1 green-white checker, not 3 as you see on your screen. 77-degree ambient temp. It's going to change to 76 here as these cars get set to grid here at Daytona. Clear skies and just a light wind as we get set for some action here for PGR eSports. I'm your host here tonight, Michael Triscaro, and I'll be joined shortly here by Kody Neagles. He'll be the race control up here in the tower tonight, but he'll also be joining us here in the booth. So looking forward to being on the call with him as all the drivers now, they are getting set here on the grid, and we will pull up the starting grid for you guys here tonight. And it's going to be Nathan Harper on the pole. And outside of the front row there, that'll be Joe Hort of the Jack Shack. His teammate Jared Haynes will start in third. Dylan Basin, teammates to those two as well, starts fourth. And another teammate for the Jack Shack, Landon Velicky. So the Jack Shack making up 2, 3, 4, and 5 here tonight on the starting grid. Justin Melikar of Team PGR will start 6th. Trevin Ashronaut, the boss man of the Jack Shack, 7th. Freddie Bazinez starts in 8th. Kenny Reel starts in 9th. And rounding out your top 10, that'll be Jeff Merck, winner last night of the MMS race. Matthew Stalnick, he'll start in 11th. Adam Young starts 12th. Evan Carl Bond starts 13th. Brian Hennings 14th. Brock Westmoreland 15th. Kody Ashley will start 16th. Michael Guest, that's an eNASCAR Coke Series driver, starts 17th. As well as another eNASCAR Coke Series driver, Daniel Falkingham. He is racing for free here tonight as he was the recipient of the free race entry last week by finishing in the 7th position. He'll start in 18th. Starting 19th, that'll be another eNASCAR Coke Series Pro. They're going to start right all along next to each other here tonight. That'll be Malik Ray. Stephen Miles, the PGR winner before, he'll start in 20th. Kyler Wynn, a multi-time winner here, will start in 21st. Jackson Buys, he is a strong young man. He will start in 22nd. Axel Smith starts 23rd. Josh McCullough Motorsports starts in 24th. Larry McDonald starts in 25th. Jeremiah Galtney, he's a new driver here. He starts in 26th. Cameron Craighead, 27th. Kenny McCullough Jr., one of the GOATs, he will start in 28th. Kobe Nill, he'll start in 29th. David Justin, 30th. And Mark Von Dell, 31st. Tim White, he will round out your 32-car field here tonight. And that will do it for your starting grid as the drivers now pacing here at Daytona for 65 laps underneath the lights here. And the darkness is finally setting in as Harper and Horta get set to send us off here tonight. So looking forward to another night here. I'm now joined by my broadcast partner, Kody Neagles, and he is the 3rd all-time winning driver here. Kody Neagles, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Ben. Looking forward to seeing the race from a little bit of a different perspective. Appreciate you having me up here. I think we're going to have a pretty good race. Hopefully with a little bit smaller field, we can get this race stretched out a little bit, get us a green flag pit stop in, and put on a good show for the fans.
Well, we are going to drop the green flag here this time as Nathan Harper in the 4 will lead us to green into the restart zone. Green flag in the air as we are underway here at Daytona. lap number 1 here in the books. And that is going to be led here, it looks like, by Joe Horta. Here comes the 42 machine. That's going to be Dylan Basin. So the race is on here as we get going here. Lap number 2 of 65 here tonight. On to the backstretch we go. 2 by 2 through the field. Basin leads on the bottom. But here comes Team PGR's Justin Melikar, who had a great showing in the PGR SummerSlam 499, just outside the top 10 for Melikar, as he's going to now lead here early, and he is getting pushed by Freddie Bazinez. Some sparks flying there in the corners underneath these next-gen cars. 3 wide already as Stallnick, Falkingham push another lane.
Yeah, it looks like, as you were saying, they're trying to push the top, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of momentum going there. These next-gen cars, they really are about numbers, and wherever the numbers are is where you want to go to get to the front.
Bazinez now will pace the field off of turn number 2 again. We're going to go back to 2 by 2 and a smaller field here tonight for PGR eSports. Not used to seeing that, but hey, it could be a good thing here. Let's see if we can get a clean race, and these cars looking really good. These paint schemes underneath the lights. As you see, Brian Hennings now in 3rd position on the top, and right behind him is Ashwinoth. 2 cars really looking really cool here. With the light and the reflection off these cars. See that Tide car as well in line. I believe number 30. So that's Kody actually. So yeah, some cool paint schemes out here. And the next gen car, it's been quite a bit here, Kody, since we've seen this car in PGR eSports. And, you know, this is going to be a build-up now for the next Crown Jewel event, which will be at the end of January, that PGR 500. You know, 2 Crown Jewels and a bunch of other major, events throughout the year, but really the PGR 500, the biggest of them all. And this is the car combo and track combo right here, and we're going to see tonight if we have a favorite here to win that PGR 500.
Yeah, and I think this car come PGR 500 in 2026, it's going to have a lot of a different package than what we're used to. The previous year, it was a very aggressive package. It was easy to pass. It was easy to side draft, run the top, where now it seems like the bottom is a little bit more dominant unless you can get numbers and get guys lined up with cool temps up top. So a little bit harder to pass than what we're normally accustomed to with the next gen. So I'm really excited to see how the drivers can adjust to it and prepare for this next year's PGR 500.
Yeah, Kyler Wynn right now, he is to the lead here on the top side. The number 82 out of Ontario, 194 mile an hour here into the Trialville. As now it looks like actually he's going to dive to the bottom. A good run here early for him. That Tide car making some headway here. Here comes Falkingham, as Daniel Falkingham, man, he has really cleaned house here in PGR in the last year, winning many of the major events, including the inaugural PGR 500 back in January. And, man, he was ever so close to snatching that SummerSlam 499. And with that rule change post-SummerSlam, yeah, he would have had the victory. But it also could have been Malik Ray, playing that one a little bit differently, which could have allowed Falkingham to make that pass there at the end of that race. But nonetheless, a first place in the 500 and a second place in the 499. And that is going to be hard to duplicate, as is Malik Ray, who's in this field as well. Right now scored in the 20th position. And he is your 2-time now PGR SummerSlam 499 winner, going back-to-back, carrying both belts. And that will be up for grabs again in the summertime of 2026. So really strong field here tonight. Michael Guest in the field as well. Jeff Merck coming off a victory last night in McCullough. Motorsports, we got Kenny Reel and his teammates at the Jack Shack. Those guys have won quite a few races as well. So a really good field here tonight in this next-gen car. A lot of, knowledge and guys that have, really done some damage in this car. So looking forward to seeing who comes into victory lane here tonight.
Yeah, and it looks like in the early going, Brock Westmoreland, he has been looking very, very racy. Behind Kyler Wynn now sitting P2, sandwiched between both Wynn and Falkingham. He's in a good spot. And another person I want to point out that's had a really good start to this race is that 30 Tide car that you had mentioned of Cody Atchley. very, very sharp. Adam Young looks like he's going to jump up. He wants some of that momentum. I don't know, though. It looks like the top lane's going to stall a little bit. Bottom, fairly stalled as well, as now the middle lane is getting a little bit more formed up. If Adam Young can stay to Brock Westmoreland, I think you could see Westmoreland push into the lead potentially, which we know if he does, Kyler Wynn's going to be there to block.
Yeah, riding on board now. This is going to be with Matthew Stalnick here. We're going to go inside his cockpit, going to give you a good view of pushing here at Daytona into turn number 1, right behind Astronaut. And you could really see there when you're right lined up behind that car, it's hard to see. He's going to peek down just a little bit. He'll see that lane. You see the sparks still flying underneath these cars here as we exit turn number 2. Down the backstretch we go. He's going to get a run. He's going to have to check up just a little bit. And you can just see how fast everything happens here from the cockpit of Stalnick's machine here down the backstretch into turn number 3. We stay 2 by 2, and this is kind of what we were hoping to see tonight. Some more riding around, especially early on in this race. And no hurry here. We only got 40% fuel in these race cars here tonight, so looking forward to see if we could get some green flag stops. It's been few and far between across the money racing community lately, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and try not to jinx this field. I think we're gonna these guys are gonna put on a show for us here tonight.
And I think a show is exactly what we need. It's been a little bit of tough sled in the last couple months in terms of caution count per race. I think we had 22 in the SummerSlam, so I know the car track combo was pretty tough, but looking into the PGR 500, we have time to right the ship. I think there's going to need to be a couple rule changes. Of course, we're starting to implement those now, but if we can get the right formula with rules and just a pace for drivers getting used to each other more and more as we can cycle in newer drivers, I'm hoping we can get to a point where we're going to put on our best race yet with the PGR 500 next year.
Yeah, absolutely. See the track map right there, one car off pace, that's the 59. Back here, that's going to be Mark Vondel in the Napa Auto Parts Chevy Camaros. He is going to need a caution at some point to catch back up to this field, as he is just over a half lap to the good here on the leaders. And the leader now, Brock Westmoreland, as you had mentioned, to the front here on the high side. And we've had a lot of comers and goers here in the front, a lot of different names. And so far, this car putting on a show here tonight for the viewers out there, and a show for us here up in the tower. And it is so far so good here. And we would think, Kody, we're going to be coming up on green flag stops here, not too far off. And if we could get there, could spread this field out just a bit. Like we said, it's been a while since we've had some green flag stops, so these guys better be on their P's and Q's coming down to pit lane, get to that pit road speed of 55 miles an hour and get in their box and off pit lane. So we'll see. I always say it's benefits the guys that do it best, and we'll see tonight here, hopefully shortly, who's going to do it best, as these guys all now getting down to that bottom lane, anticipating the first stop here of tonight's race.
And what's very interesting with this new package is how strong, if that bottom gets a little bit of momentum, I mean, we've seen, 5 cars clearing on the bottom. It's crazy, because now all of a sudden you have the top that's a little bit more formed up. You have 3 Jack Shack cars behind Brian Hennings, and then the top rolls. But the second you get the right pusher on the bottom, like I said, is going to push 5 clears. So it's just a lot of times about being at the right place at the right time. And for the drivers that can anticipate those runs a little bit better than everyone else, you're going to set yourself up good at the end. And as you had alluded to, we get to a green flag pit stop, you're going to start seeing the cream rise back to the top.
Yeah, here comes one of the cream rising back to the top, and that's going to be Landon Velicki, his teammate, Astronaut, pushing him. They have a massive run here. They're going to go right around Brian Hennings here in that middle lane. They are double cleared. If they want it, they take it. Jack Shack 1-2 to the front. We have one coming down to pit lane right now. I believe Cameron Craighead's going to dive off. He has no help, so that might not be the move right there. Not sure why he had to come as early as he did. 14 of 65 here. We'll get back to talking about that PGR 500 in just a little bit. But the Jack Shack right now, you see the 7 there. That's Jared Haynes. Here comes Evan Carlbon. Strength and numbers right now working out. And if you look farther back, Malik Ray, he's still having trouble getting up to the front right now with his teammate Michael Guest. They're about mid-pack. And here comes the Shack. We'll see. 14 to 65, like we said. Will they come this time by? I would expect cars here to pit lane in the next couple laps.
We'll see if they dart off. It looks like everyone's gonna file down to the bottom. It doesn't look like anyone pits here, so pit stops are looming. You can tell with everyone dropping down. What's really interesting is Landon Veliky leading the line. He's got Jack Shack behind him with Trevor Oswornoff, but if you can look up front really close, he's got some damage center punch to that 62 machine.
Yeah, he does. You can see it there on the front grille of that Chevy Camaro there for Landon Veliky, so we'll see what happens there. We are 3 wide right now. We got one out there in the 3rd lane, as I believe Haynes here comes, and they're going to stack up the field just a little bit, but no harm, no foul. Jack Shack now, I believe, top 4 there on the bottom of the racetrack. Going back to Stallneck, he'd be the first car not with that team. So 4 teammates here in the front. Stallneck 4th, and right now Brian Hennings, your top 5 for Team PGR, who's battling Freddie Bazinas. So we'll do some fuel calculations here shortly once we get these green flag stops, but they are coming here in the next lap or 2. As you see farther on back, all these guys jockeying for position here. You might see some cars have to pit from that 2nd lane, but yeah, I'll tell you what, man, these guys, you know, if you can make that run in this car is looking really good here tonight underneath the lights at Daytona with this weather. A little bit cooler, I believe, out there on the racetrack. We'll pull up that weather here in just a second as well, because here comes Kody. Green flag stops. Here comes the Jack Shack to pit lane.
Let's see if they can get in and out of pit road clean. It looks like everyone has entered pit road clean. Very good job to start this race off. First green flag pit stop.
I think that's about half the field coming down pit lane here, and that's going to be like lap 16, you know, coming to 17 there. So you're about to go 16, 17 laps here in a 65-lap race. So you're looking at about, you know, 4 stops, I would think, 3-4 stops to make it here till the end. Here comes Freddie Bazinas as he's getting pushed by Malik Ray. You know these guys are coming this time by. It'll be 17 coming to 18. Watch for Bazinas to dive onto pit lane here. We'll go digger pit lane right real quick here. Here they come onto pit lane, down the pit lane speed. It looks like, again, Kody, the other half of the field doing a great job of getting on pit lane. And, man, it looks like, I don't know, I don't see any penalties as of now. We'll check here in a second, but these guys, excellent job here by the entire field to get on and off pit lane.
Definitely a really good job. 2 different groups of drivers get in and out of pit road clean, and it shows that these guys do this on a nightly basis. And you can definitely tell the team aspect of it when you see the pit entries. You have every team communicating together, getting all of their guys and communicating which lap they want to go. And it seems like Malik Ray getting off of pit road beautifully with Freddie Bazinas. One thing I do want to mention, they pitted on lap 17, which I believe, if my calculation is right, they should be able to make it on 2 more stops, I believe. The guys that pitted on lap 16, they might be pretty close on fuel. So this looks like it has the makings of a fuel strategy race.
Yeah, I agree with you. Obviously, these guys that pit on lap 16, you know, you're really looking at lap about 32, your next stop. Then you're looking at 48. And then you're looking at 64. So, yeah, these guys right here you see on our screen, Malik Ray, Bazinas, it looks like By's Guest and all them. I think that's why you didn't see them coming to the front, Kody. They were out there saving fuel, and they had probably talked about that before tonight's race started. And that's just that pro mentality you see there in the number 1, the number 21 of Inferno Racing. That's Vegas Inferno Racing, as they lead a group, you know, of some of their drivers. Wow, they're going to get a little bit out of line with By's there. And luckily, there was no wreck there. But, I mean, that's just savvy racing there. And they're probably not going to push it too hard here either. Because, like you said, some of these guys that have come a little bit earlier, that lap earlier, might not be able to stretch it all the way. So, man, this is going to be a very interesting race with how it is set up with the fuel, you know, the fuel cells at 40%, the laps at 65. Strategy already playing a big factor in this one. And we'll go on back just a little bit. Here's that second pack led by Kyler Wynn. You know, and also a guy that races Malik Ray's on a little different strategy here. But this is the core of the cars on the racetrack, as they are all 2x2 still, and they're going to be chasing down this front pack. But you see that track map, and we have a lot of cars broke here, and that's going to start with Larry McDonald. He's in 24th position, and we got a slew of drivers behind him who have just lost a lot of time, Kody, on this green flag stop. So already losing drivers here to the green flag pit stops.
And just as we were saying earlier, it separates the men from the boys, green flag pit stops, and that's why I like that, that style of racing, the long green flag runs, and it really does show who is well-rounded. I feel like it creates more of the skilled drivers are going to rise to the top. The cream is going to rise to the top. If a bunch of wrecks happen, to me, it kind of seems a little bit more of a crapshoot and luck of the draw depending on where you're at, unless you're just out in front of every wreck. But if I'm Malik Ray or Freddie Bassinez, Falkingham Guest, any of those guys in that front group, Dylan Basin, Jackson Byes, I would ride right now. They're trying to save a little bit of fuel. They want to make time and separate themselves from the pack, but also they've got to play that fuel game. I like where Falkingham's at, Guest, Basin. They're able to run fast laps, but at the same time, they're also saving to potentially make it on one less stop here.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And you see Malik Ray, we've seen him do this in the SummerSlam. He's going to drift up the racetrack in those turns and make sure that car behind him, Bassinez in this instant, stays cool so he can push down those straightaways. Another savvy move some of these guys use, and we got to be careful there as Guest gets out of shape just a little bit there. Falkingham, you see their fourth in line, will ride on board with Daniel Falkingham now as we come outside turn number 4 down the front stretch here as a sold-out crowd under the lights at Daytona. You'll see the NASCAR Cup Series here Saturday night. I believe, what are we on here right now, man? It changes from all different TV stations, man. I can't even keep up anymore. I know we had Fox and we had NBC, we had Prime. It's been just a list of other ones. But, yeah, Saturday night, Daytona, back on the Super Speedways. Looking forward to watching the Cup race this Saturday night. But here, the virtual Daytona Super Speedway here on the Intimidator Superspeedway Series. And right now, Falkingham knocking at the door of Michael Guest here. And we are still caution-free here to start the race here tonight. About the third of the way here as we get closer and closer to halfway tonight.
And Mike, I'm just keeping an eye right now on the interval. And right now we're sitting at 1.8. And the interval I'm talking about is between the 33 of Jackson Byes, that last lead car in the pack. And you actually have one more behind him in Mark Vondel, but he is a lap car. But that gap to Kyler Wynn, it's been pretty consistent. You see Kyler Wynn going up. He's going to give fresh temps to Kenny Reel and Landon Velicky. But slowly but surely, that front group, they've been stretching it. They've been doing a very good job with Malik Ray, as you said. He's moving up in the corner, giving Freddie air. But that front group is giving it everything they possibly can to break. But again, if they do this, what do you do if you're Freddie Bassinez? Because I almost think that they're almost digging a hole, I feel like, for that extra green flag pit stop, or the guys that are behind them, like Falkingham, Basin, Byes, can they make it on that one less stop? That's my question.
Oh, yeah, that's why all the viewers here tonight are going to have to stay tuned to this entire race, especially if we stay green. That's where it's going to get very interesting here, and that's what we're hoping for up here in the booth. So we said we got about lap 16, that's 12, that's 32, lap 32 to 34. That's when you expect to see the second round of green flag stops. So we are getting there. We're getting there in a hurry here tonight as Malik Ray still, working up there into the middle lane to keep Bassinez cooled down here, and they're going to make their run on the back here. So it's just interesting. These guys, obviously their delta, they didn't really close down the delta there on their green flag stop, but man, they all had to have a really good stop to come out in front of this pack, who essentially came in a whole lap before. So that's what's very interesting to me. As Kody mentioned, the blue car, that's the 59 of Mark Vondel. He is a lap down, so he is just trying to remain a first car, a lap down. Cameron Craighead as well, I believe, actually, Kody. Those two right now battling for the lucky dog And they are obviously nose to tail here. And it's going to be hard for Craighead to really do anything with Vondell, with these guys in front kind of just staying single file as they should. And we'll go back here a little bit more. Kenny Reel's going to lead this second pack. They are 2x2 in this pack. Westmoreland actually all the way up to the wall in the third lane. He's going to get back down here to the middle. But here's the Jack Shack team right there, the 11, the 89, and the 78. Here comes Merck and Nathan Harper as well. They're going to try to make some noise here, but, man, they just cannot catch this front group. This is going to be a dogfight for this pretty much anyone here in the second group to get to that lead pack. And, man, these top six, they're doing a really good job here tonight.
Yep, they definitely are, and for everyone watching right now, there's a lot of chatter within the race. They're communicating back and forth on what is going to be the fastest way around the track. Is it running single file, or is it racing side by side? And from the sound of it, a lot of the drivers aren't very happy that they're racing side by side right now, because since they've done that, they've dropped completely off. I mean, they're a solid 3 seconds behind that lead group now, and I mean, it continues to just balloon. They don't look like they're formed up at all.
Yeah, we could see them here now. We're going to go back here to that pack, and you got some 3 cars on the outside there. We saw Kyler Wynn had to give up the lead here in the second pack, and as he went back in the pack, I believe that's Josh McCullough is going to finally get down, and he gets down in line. Kyler Wynn's going to keep going backwards as he finally files in. So the race chatter did what it needed to do. All these cars now single file down the backstretch finally for the first time, but it's really going to be dependent now on Ashmanoff here if he can control his temps here. I mean, these guys are just having to push super hard, and that's really the issue here. As in the front, I mean, Malik Ray, like, you see Kenny Reel doing it, drifting up a little bit to give air to the front of Ashmanoff, but yeah, these guys are going to have to pull cat out of the hat here eventually to see if they can keep making some headway. They got the numbers, but like you said, Kody, just not able to catch that front pack.
No, they're not at all, and they're still yapping back and forth and trying to figure out exactly what they should be doing, and I'm honestly just getting a kick out of listening to them. But going back up to the lead 6 right now, what a job they are doing. And if they continue to do this, it is top 6 payout. So if they can just be smart with what they're doing, potentially they could get through the next couple of stops and just decide the race between the 6 of them.
Yeah, I mean, they ran a 46.09, 46. Yeah, I mean, practically the top 4 ran a 46.09, and the other 2 ran a 46.10 last time by. Everyone else in these other packs, 46, 46.29, 46.28. So these front 6 are fastest, and they're running identical lap times right now. So to these guys right here, you see Kenny Reel, Ashmanoff, Carl Bond, and Jeff Merck gets in the back of the 78 there. Some of these guys might be hoping for a caution, which we might not see as we get very close now to that halfway point and to the next round of green flag stops. So will it be Kenny Reel who eventually comes to pit lane first? He's definitely going to be burning up more fuel in this second pack than anybody else, as he has led most of this round here as Mark Vondell comes to pit lane, as he is now going to give up that lucky dog position to, I believe, Cameron Craighead. So plenty of cars now, just having really tough nights here with it staying green so long. So this will be interesting. We got some people in the chat here tonight. Danny Barnes, as he is in the chat. Mind of 500, not sure who that is, but yeah, we'll see. Kenny Reel here down the backstretch, and this front pack still leading. It's going to be Malik Ray, and it might not be so action-packed for everyone at home, but I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying this racing so far tonight.
I am too, and if you don't like this kind of racing, I really do understand it, but what is the alternative right now? I think the alternative is what we've seen in the SummerSlam, and I would take this over that racing any day of the week, because it's putting it firmly in the hands of the drivers. Your execution on and off pit road is going to decide your own fate, not the people around you wrecking them up, 10 cars deep. So hats off to the drivers right now. We're just about at the halfway point. We're pushing green flag pit stops potentially this time by, if not next time. But yeah, I prefer this kind of racing. I don't know about you, but clean racing is good racing.
Well, we were watching the front pack as all this second pack has come down the pit lane. Carl Bond's actually going to lead him off. Kyler Wynn made a lot of ground there on that stop. Here comes your leaders a lap later once again. Malik Ray, Michael Guest, Freddie Bazinez, Falkingham, Dylan Basin all down into pit lane as that Inferno Racing machine of Malik Ray gets into his box. Here is Jackson Byes doing a great job as well here tonight in the subway number 33. He is out. He is back, and he's going to be digging. He is doing a great job. Yellow flag out for the first time tonight. Brock Westmoreland, it looks like something happened with him. We will try to find out. And that changes completely everything. The first yellow here of tonight's race just passed the halfway point. And, man, we were getting set there to go green for quite a while. And, man, first yellow here of tonight. And that's going to bring a lot of this field back together here. I believe Malik Gray, and then we'll still lead this race as they were the last ones to come to pit lane. But a lot of these guys behind them going to be very happy to see the yellow flag, as the pace car is now parading them around here on the backstretch. We're going to find out exactly what happened here. Kody Neagles has stepped away to look at that replay. We'll find out from him if there's any penalties involved here for the first caution of the night. Remember, new rules here in PGR. Your first cause of caution is a 30-second hold in the pit, so you do not want to be the cause of caution. Now, the only way around that is in the last 10 laps. So if you get to the last 10 laps and it's your first cause of caution, that'll be a EOL. Now, if you get a second one at any point in the race, that's a DQ. I believe pit lane open here. Now, all these drivers just pit. I can't imagine them all coming down unless it would help them get to, let's see here, 34, 44. That's going to be really close here, I believe, on a one-stop race. So definitely going to be saving fuel. A lot of these guys now actually coming back down pit lane, which is very smart. That extra fuel, especially if we use that green-white checker here tonight. But, well, we haven't taken you to it. We're going to take it to you now and see if we can find the caution here. And I believe it's going to be Evan Carlbon involved. Let's go back it up here. And I'll go in real time here. Here's Carlbon. And yeah, wow, yeah, he's going to get, you do not see that often. This is actually, and we were talking about Carlbon. Yes, Cody's back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going to need your help on something because my computer is bugging out. Would you be able to take a quick look at that for me real quick? I am going to back out, rejoin the session. But if you could just take a quick look, and I'm going to look at it from your perspective, just review the wreck real quick. So, because every time I go to Evan, it's I can't see anything. So I just need a little bit of help on this one so I can make the call.
Yeah, so we're going to try to double duty here right now. Evan Carlbon is, I mean, he is completely sideways on this apron. Man, that is crazy. Yeah, that is just crazy. It just snapped on him. I mean, that is something I've never seen. And here, let's go watch this back in real time. We'll see if we can share it to Kody really quick. I'm going to share him one of my screens. We'll see if he can see what we're looking at. And this is in slow motion. Here's Carlbon. And this is coming to the exit line here on the backstretch. Look how sideways Carlbon is. And right here, watch this car snap. Right here. Completely right. I mean, I'm almost thinking there's a little net code there because I can't imagine him just shooting up the track like that. But that's what ends up bringing out our first caution of the night. He's going to slide up into the racing surface and then end up sliding back down where cars were exiting pit lane. So that brings out the first caution of the night. I mean, I think...
yeah, give me just a second.
think we can give a no call there, as didn't look like Carlbahn did anything intentional there. Oh, it was just a weird thing that we just saw there. But nonetheless, we're going to go back live here as we are still under the yellow flag.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna back out, but I'm gonna go ahead and just give that one a no call, and then I'm gonna reboot everything up for. Just give me a second. I'll be back.
All right. Well, we'll be joined by Kody and Neagles here in just a little bit, and we will take our first break of the night. One yellow so far, really clean race. We'll see if we can, have a good rest of the race as well. And we'll be right back here live on the PGR eSports Network. Back here live at Daytona International Speedway for the PGR eSports Intimidator Superspeedway. I don't know why I'm having trouble lately with the Super Speedway Series when I say it, but it happened last couple races, so my apologies there. All right, now Malik Ray is going to lead the field here to green for the second time tonight, as we have only had one yellow as we approach lap number 32 of tonight's race. Falkingham will beat to his inside. Michael Guest, Dylan Basin, Freddie Bazin as your top five. And these guys, those are the guys right there, including Jackson Buys, who did not want to see that yellow fly. But unfortunately for them, the whole field now is caught up to them. And that strategy play, coming that lap after and pushing the pace there on the ensuing, once they had made that first pit stop. As Michael Guest, wow, he's going to hit the wall there right before the pace car dives on the pit lane. That was interesting. Back to the Geico restart zone. Green flag in the air for the second time tonight as two teammates on top. Ray Guest get a good jump here. Falkingham on the bottom of the racetrack. Buys here to the top. He's going to make a move as well. And we are off to the races here. Caution flag back on the track. Didn't see that one coming. And here we go. Cautions, unfortunately, breeding cautions. And yellow flag right back out, and we'll see if we can figure out what for here.
All right, Mike, I don't know if you were following, but with the whole having to pass the pace car, it has given a lot of people black flags, and the start was not a good one. So I had to throw the caution and give them a chance to re-rack up.
Okay, so it's no wreck or anything.
No wreck.
Okay. So that caution will just be to kind of get the field back squared away with some technology issues there within the racing session. So it might show up as an official caution, but technically speaking, it's really just an extension there of the pace laps. So we'll just say only one caution so far tonight, but we're going to count down now the rest of the way. 26 laps to go. And that'll definitely help with fuel here for these front cars. So I don't think they're going to be too mad about that one. These guys that did not double pit here last time by, so.
Because we're basically extending the caution, I will ask for your opinion. Do you want me to go 1 to green, or do you want me to do full course caution?
Yeah, you could go 1 to green. I wouldn't even let these guys pit now because that's just going to give them an advantage. It might be too late. Somebody's diving. No.
It's too late.
Yeah.
I will tell them 1 to green, though.
Well, we will take the 1 to green here in just a second. The pace car lights will go out. And we will rack them back up. So just a little malfunction here with this session. Pace car lights are out. We'll go green next time by. And we will have only 24 laps to go in this one. So under the second caution, really only one so far here tonight. And now I would assume action going to pick up. Hopefully we could still stay clean here. And while well, there goes Malik Gray, Michael Guest. Not sure exactly what they're doing. Huh. It's a little bit. Yep, here comes the pace car now. It looks like we're going to go around one more time here. Field's still getting straightened out here, so almost like a little stage break here in the middle of tonight's race. So we will parade around one more time here at Daytona, and we will then get back underway here. And while we have some extra time, we will talk a little bit about that PGR 500. And that will be in late January of 2026. And the PGR 500, the inaugural PGR 500 here in 2025, won by Daniel Falkingham. And this year will be slightly different, as we will do qualifying for those front row positions a little bit differently than we did last year. And I thought last year it was pretty good, but we are going to make it a little bit even more exciting. So I believe it's not set in stone, but most of the top two from each of the heat races throughout the week will go to a Friday night shootout race for the front row qualifying guaranteed spots in the feature race. So that is something that will be new. Friday will no longer be a dark day on the track. We will race, and might even be some money on the line for that race. So we'll get the details out on that once we start working on the format and getting PGR 500 registration up on the website way earlier than we used to get it on. So look for that here in the next month and a half. So we iron out some more of the format details there. Looking for a 300, hopefully, entry event last year. Well over 200. And with the, obviously the SummerSlam $4.99 with the successful as it was, as well as the PGR 500, We're hoping 300 should be the magic number this coming year for the 500. It's going to be a crazy full week of racing: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's how many days it's going to take to crown your PGR 500 champion in 2026. Here we go. Now the pace car lights are out, and we will finally go back to racing here. As Kody now hopefully will join us back here in a second. Looks like he's finally has everything under control. But I am really looking forward to that new little qualifying format for the 500 next year, to get those 2 spots that everyone covets so much, is the front row that will lock you into the field no matter what happens in the dual races. Because we all know those can be chaotic, especially with the feature on the line. Another big event coming this fall. It's going to be the all-new imagined Fall Brawl here at PGR. And that is one of the marquee events every fall, but this year it's going to take on a different beast, as it'll be a month long of racing in knockout style, as we hope to try to get 60 entries. And the first week will be two races with 30 entries, and the top 20 in both of those races will advance to week number 2. And they'll all come together for a 40 driver race, and that'll get knocked down to 30, which will eventually get knocked down to 20. And those top 20 will vie for the money position. So going to be a little kind of like a rolling jackpot this year for the Fall Brawl. So going to be a much different event than it has been in the past. That'll start coming up in October to start off quarter number 4 in 2025. It's going by just that fast. Here we go, back green. Malik Ray, Michael Guest in their Inferno Racing machines take the green flag. We've had 2 cautions here tonight. Really just one during green flag conditions, one for technological issues. 21 laps to go now as we have a new leader. It's Dylan Basin in the front. Kody Neagles has joined us. And man, that was a heck of a caution there. It was almost like a race break, stage break, to get everyone lined back up.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Sorry, I had to mute there and just get things figured out, but I think we should be good. Yeah, I think that was just one of them cases, back-to-back times, where iRacing was telling the leader to pass the pace car, and it was throwing the race order out of whack. But we got it sorted. We're back going green, and hopefully we can have a second half of the race like we did the first half.
Yeah, I'm thinking now it should be a one-stop race for everyone here on out. So hopefully we can get to that one and only green flag stop and race it out from there. But we know now with all these cars back here in a big pack, and now that they know that, hey, if we get to that green flag stop, there might be some cars, that can get out way ahead and hold that lead. So you would think now, intensity going to definitely ramp up here for all these drivers. Let's hope they can keep it clean, but definitely these drivers mid-pack on back, they are going to be anxious to get here to the front of this one.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got the conglomerate of teammates with Freddie Bassinez, Kyler Wynn, Malik Ray, and Michael Guest for the top 5 on the bottom, with Dylan Basin leading. Top lane, really nothing doing right now. Falkingham's just out on an island. What I did want to mention earlier, I don't know if you can tell, but it definitely looks like that this new next-gen updated package has got some tandem features to it, because multiple times now when we have seen 2 leaders get hooked up, they've been able to push their way no matter what line they're in and just absolutely fly. So it's just one of those things I'm picking up with this car, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it sure has. Now high above the speedway in the Goodyear blimp as we watch Daniel Falkingham with a massive push exit a turn number 4 from Nathan Harper. They're going to get the run, and there's that little tandem there that's going to get them cleared out in front of Dylan Basin. Here comes the 11, I believe Kenny Reel, possibly someone else, not sure there. He's going to be pushing Brian Hennings. And 2x2 in the mid-pack. Look at the middle of this pack. 3 wide now. Jared Haynes puts it on the outside here of Brock Westmoreland. He's got his teammate underneath him, Landon Veliky. But a wad here in the middle of the racetrack as the 05 Josh McCullough gets down into Kenny Reel there on the, we're going to have a push. The 48 into the 1. They're going to barely save it there. We got a couple number 11s out here. Going to get a little bit confusing, but man, that Goodyear blimp brought a great look there at the middle of the pack. That's where a lot of this racing is right now. To the line we go, 17 to go. Action definitely picking up here.
Yeah, and it looks like everyone's doing a little bit of the last-minute jockeying before the green flag pit stop, and I don't think anyone wants to be marred mid-pack when when the pit stop cycles through. It's going to be all about track position, because once the front guys can get on and off pit road, the top 10 positions, I would say, going to be very, very hard to come by. So guys are getting a little bit impatient right now. Really, there was give and take all race, but it looks like now we're kind of getting to the point where it's a lot of take and no give.
Yeah, well, what's interesting here is we know that, 16, 17 laps is a fuel run. So, they're going to get into this window here and, obviously go around a little bit more just in case we do have that one green-white checkered. But we only have one, so they don't have to go too long to be in that window of making it all the way to not only the end of this race, but in case they need to go to overtime. So will we see some of these good drivers here in the front say, hey, we're just going to come in early, force the hand of this field, and see if we can break some of this field again, and if a caution were to come out and they already pit, then hey, they're going to cycle to the front regardless. So a lot of guys probably here starting to think about what they're going to do with their teammates here with just 16 laps to go. I would expect definitely before lap 10, with 10 to go, I would say before that we're going to see some green flag stops, but definitely got to go around a handful more times here to make sure they have enough fuel in case they need overtime. 15 to go now. Falkingham, your leader. Harper, Basin, Bazinez, Wynn. That's going to be your top 5. Just outside the top 10 or 5 is Ray Guest. Real Buys Hennings is your top 10.
Sorry, I had to throw a caution there.
We have a wreck on the racetrack here. It's going to be Justin Melikar. We'll go back to that in just a second. And watch the 84 here, right behind Jeff Merck. We'll see what happens here. Melikar, man, is this going to be the second caution? Oh, yeah, he's just checking up. So actually, the wreck's going to start a little bit in front of Melikar here. And it looks like Landon Veliky. This is in real time here. Some of these guys saving it. Man, Carl Bond nearly went for a ride. He was able to save it. Let's go back and look at this one. Stack up there. Velke looks to go under, and that's going to net code to Cameron Craighead as sparks fly here. And you see up in front of Craighead is where you're going to see. Watch the stack up with the 1 and the 97. That stacks up Craighead as he gets to the back of, I believe that's Axel Smith. And Landon just kind of, hey, he's going to get, those are the tough ones right there. He obviously sees a lane to go underneath the 48, but the 48 is washed up the track because of the stack up in front. So, it's some guys take that, some guys don't. I know for myself, I usually just kind of say, hey, chalk it up, got to check up and, just kind of let that 48 get back in the position. Landon saw an avenue, he kind of took it, but you see his left's on that yellow line, so not too much room there for Veliky to make that move. So we'll see what the call is here. It'll be an interesting call here by race control underneath Cameron Craighead here. And look at Veliky save it there, man. He is all out of whack. You see Carl Bond fly in, nearly door his teammate. I believe Melikar He wrecked coming right at this one. This is real time. Justin Melikar trying to get down on that apron, and he is going to slide right out. Man, he's going to have some front damage. Yep, right front damage. Hopefully not wheel damage to the number 84 there. And taking service. All the cars on the racetrack, so we should make it now all the way to the checkered flag. So I believe we'll have 3 cautions so far, 2 for on-track items, 1 for technology. So that'll be the second one due to racing there. So still overall a clean race. We'll see how the rest of the race goes. Dylan Basin now scored in first. Falkingham in second. Nathan Harper, that's your top 3. Bazinez and Real, that's going to make up your top 5. Couple guys out right now, or at least way behind on the track. Cameron Kirkhead, Justin Melikar getting a lot of damage fixed right now, but for the most part, everyone still has a shot here tonight. And Jeremiah Galtney, he is a new driver here. Good to see him here out in PGR in the 29 SS City of Milwaukee car, that Chevrolet, and looking a really good paint scheme right there for Galtney, and he's getting some TV time here in his first ever PGR eSports race, and hopefully he comes back, and he's marching his way back here and trying to give him a shot here near the end of this race tonight. So appreciate him coming over here and giving it a shot with some of the best in iRacing on super speedways. Tim White, another one. They're in the 239 Chevrolet. Tim White. Colby Nil and the number 7 Monster Energy Toyota Camry. Matthew Stallnick inside of him in the 41 machine. Larry McDonald on track here tonight, number 80. Really good looking paint scheme right there for Larry Mack. In front of him, Adam Young of the Jack Shack in the number 22. Always cool to go through the field and see everyone out here on the racetrack tonight. Stephen Miles, got a guy we talked about too much tonight, right outside the top 10, and his number 24 Sim 500 Camaro. See if he can make some noise here late in tonight's race. Back up front, it's go time here at Daytona. Basin Falkingham going to lead them down to the green here. Kody Neagles joins us back in here. Kody, any penalties here on that last caution?
I did not assess a penalty on it. It looked like that it just started on the bottom from a pretty rough checkup. You have one driver that's checking up, and it just accordion straight back about 5 rows, and then it resulted with Lannon spinning the driver in front of him. So I'm not going to assess. Go ahead.
No, it looked like, yeah, you know, Landon tried to make that move. Maybe a little net code, too. Assisted the turn there, I believe, on Craighead. So no call there from RC. We are back green, Basin out front. Falkingham trying to get to the bumper of the 42. Here comes Kenny Reel looking to spoil the party and get his second ever PGR victory as Basin's going to block that run. Those are teammates linked up there on the bottom. Falkingham now has competitors in the NASCAR Coke Series right behind him. Malik Ray, Michael Guess, now Kyler, Wynn, Steven, Miles. Malik's got all his partners behind him. Falkingham trying to hold them all at bay. 11 to go. It's going to be 10 to go, Kody, here at the line.
And Falkingham is definitely in a tough position here. Malik behind him, and you've got a slew of teammates with Michael Guess, Kyler Wynn, Steven, Miles. Just not a lot of help here for Daniel Falkingham, so it's going to be interesting to see how much he's going to want to stay committed to that top lane, because you have the option, if you're Malik, of going above him, but you're probably going to parachute a little bit with that bottom line being formed up. But how long are they willing to stay behind Daniel Falkingham here is the question.
Yeah, a wad of cars in the middle of the pack. 3 wide racing now farther on back. It's time to go to the front. Not much time left in this one. We're going to be in single digits Next time by through the tri-oval. Falkingham to the bottom now. Basin, he's split out wide now as Malik Ray goes to the top. Third lane with his team. 4 cars in a row on the top. We're going to have a wreck here, it looks like. And believe we're going to stay green for now. Somebody took a massive vicious hit. Looks like Jeff Merck's involved. 9 laps to go now. We stay green. Caution out. And the caution out, as Kody looked like he was able to finally get to that one. And we'll go back here. We had somebody hit the wall in this tri-oval. Man, they hit it hard here in the front of... Yeah, it looks... Ooh, it's going to be Dylan Basin. Man, Dylan Basin, rough for him. And he was having a great night. Let's rewind just a little bit. And here's what happened to Basin ultimately here. And you see Malik Ray right behind Dylan Basin. And, man, they said, hey, coming on exit here, we are going to split Basin 3 wide. He can't block that run of the Inferno Racing teammates. They're going to go to the outside. They're going to pick up their teammates right behind Kyler Wynn and Steven Miles. And here is where the trouble starts for Dylan Basin. As now he is a sitting duck there, going to parachute back in that middle lane. We've seen it so many times before. It's not a fun place to be in, especially when you're up in the front. But here's what happens to the 42. Here comes the one of Joe Horta. He's going to hit him offset right in the tri-oval. That's going to turn Basin right up into the fence. There goes his hood. And that may very well end the night of the 42 of Dylan Basin. And I'm going to assume Joe Horta going to be on the end of being the cause of caution here tonight. So Joe Horta, will see if that in fact goes on him. That would be an EOL. That would not be a drive-through this late in the race. But Dylan Basin, heavy damage. Jeff Merck as well, kind of involved in this one, as you see him heavy on the brakes as well. And another caution here tonight. We're going to see if Kody Neagles is back to give us a report there on a cause of caution.
Yeah, that cause of caution is going to go on the 01 of Joe Huerta. It looked like Dylan Basin was parachuting back. They are teammates, and he is just trying to give them a good push to, build up the momentum a little bit, but he hit him offset right and shot him down the track, so I've got to give him the EOL. It is inside of 10 to go, so no hold.
So no hold, just inside 10 laps for Horta. 32 driver field here tonight. As the laps wind down. And we'll take our last quick break of tonight's race. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have the end of tonight's Intimidator Superspeedway Series race after this break. Back here live at Daytona. 6 laps to go. We're going to have 5 to go when we go back green. It has been a good race, clean race here so far tonight. We'll see how these guys can complete the 65 laps and who is going to go to victory lane here at the World Center of Racing. Falkingham, your leader. Harper to his outside. Kenny Reel up here in the front as well. Actually, Kenny Reel is going to be second here on the outside of Falkingham. Harper's going to be third. It looks like fourth's going to be Freddie Bazinez. So we'll see. Kody Neagles still with us here up in the tower. I believe 3 cautions here tonight. 2 of them racing incidents. 1 of them right there to Joe Horta. That's going to put him at the end of the line. We also had a 4th one. We're not going to call that a true caution, but that was going to be more of an extended pace lapse due to some technological issues within the racing session. So let's hope and pray we can go wire to wire here from 5 to go all the way down to that checkered flag and avoid that overtime if we can. The 39 of Falkingham will bring us to green right here as the pace car dips down onto pit lane. Fans on their feet once again. Green flag being waved in the air, and we are back off and racing. To that checkered flag we go. A great start by the 39 of Falkingham, and a great push from the 4 of Harper. Buys back in it. Here he is into the top 5, and all these cars, Kody, pushing nose to tail.
Yeah, and I do apologize. As I was telling you before we went back live, I've had an issue drawing all cars. I didn't have the right settings, which is why the delayed cautions happened. I do apologize. I do have it fixed, though, so we should be good to go for the finish of this race.
2 by 2. We got a couple out there 3 wide. We haven't seen too much 3 wide racing here tonight. You'd expect it to pick up a little bit more here at the end. And that middle lane right now being led by Brian Hennings. Kenny Reel behind him. Kyler Wynn pushing buys. Let's see if they make a move. And Malik Ray right now with Michael Guest. They're tucked a little bit farther back there in that second lane. They've lost some track position here, Kody. And it's going to be harder for them to get up here. We're going to have to make some moves now. Just 4 laps to go. Here goes the 22 to that middle lane. And, man, as Adam Young, I believe it's Adam Young. And he's going to get picked up by Hennings. Hennings is going to get right into the back of him. He's going to have to check up. That middle lane's going to have to check up. They are all out of whack now. Lost a lot of speed. Somehow Ray gets... Ooh, he forces middle. They're going to wreck behind. Michael Guest in a big one. The big one happens here at Daytona. And that will for sure put us into overtime. And carnage here on the racetrack. A lot of cars involved. And it was just a matter of that middle lane getting all out of whack and drivers trying to get into kind of advance their positions. And, man, we're going to have to go back because that was a massive wreck here. And I think what's going to happen just behind Malik Ray, but we'll see what essentially causes this one. It's actually really starting right there. Let's back this one up. And you can see, I think it's going to kind of start right here. Here goes Kenny Reel, and he's going to nearly get into Hennings. He's got to check up. That checks up Bazinez. That checks up Malik Ray. And now you're really going to see what happens here. Ooh, Malik Ray, oh, yeah, there's a big check up there between the 05 and the 78. Malik Ray has to go up the racetrack to avoid it. And they're fine right here. Ooh, and Melikar, yeah, Melikar's actually going to come down into the 30. Actually, he's had a great night. There goes Michael Guest. There goes Brian Hennings. Bazinez involved. Some guys that have been up front most of this night. And there's the big one here at Daytona. Man, Larry McDonald just skating on by. Veliky involved. Ooh, the 84. Melikar's going to go upside down and over the top of White. Another tumble for him. This was bigger than I thought. Justin Melikar, one of the wrecks of the year here in PGR. Unbelievable. And I don't We'll have to see from Kody here.
All right, Mike, you got a copy?
Yep.
All right. So I went back and reviewed it, and give me just a second here. I'm gonna go back to it. Just give me a quick second. So as I'm looking at it, it looks like the stack up started right behind Kyler. Miles checks up just a little bit. Then Axel checks up and it accordions back all the way. Malik's going up to try to avoid it because of the stack up.
Yeah.
And it gets back to Kody. And then the wreck ends up happening right behind Malik as everyone. It's one of them cases where every lane it gets back, the stack up gets worse. So there's going to be no at fault for that one.
And that's kind of what we saw. We watched this replay multiple times. And man, these guys did everything they could do really to save it there. And we are going to go, before we go back live here to the leaders here, man, we got to go live on board with Justin Melikar of Team PGR. Man, this is going to be one heck of a cockpit here. Watch this. What a ride here for Melikar. And there it is, as you see end over end from the cockpit there, man. He's still able to somehow drive that thing away from this wreck. We'll watch it one more time in real time. And here it is. Watch that 84 machine go for a ride here at Daytona. Like a pinball and a pinball machine, the 84. And the big one here strikes late. As we now go back live to the front of this pack. And we are going to be, Kody, in NASCAR overtime. And Falkingham and Harper still up front here. But a 2 laps is going to settle this one. There's going to be no more yellows here tonight. We are going to race this one all the way out. One attempt tonight at a green-white checkered finish. And really tonight, not much on the drivers. Only one cause of caution to one of the drivers in tonight's field, the Joe Horta. Otherwise, a couple racing incidents here and there, and that's really about it. We had a shot tonight to go longer, but that Carl Bond miscue kind of on pit exit, or I should say, you know, the commitment cone there on the backstretch coming out of the apron really kind of turned the race upside down. And, you know, until we didn't get that one, this thing could have gone for quite a while here tonight.
Yeah, and the only EOL I threw, again, it was just a matter of Basin getting hung out. So there's a speed difference between Basin and Joe. And really the only thing that went wrong in all of it was Joe hit him offset right. Other than that, the drivers have done a fantastic job. Been some weird stack-ups that they've tried to avoid, but nothing that I feel like needs to be assessed a penalty as we go green here.
Yeah, back green. 2 laps to go to settle it. When we get back around, it'll be white flag no matter what happens here on this lap. Remember, there is a means to getting a cause of caution penalty here in these final 2 laps. This is the point of no return. You got to be careful with those blocks as well. Kyler Wynn is there on the outside. Falkingham is going to take that run off of Kyler Wynn. Down the backstretch we go. Harper's got the inside lane all to himself, but really, Falkingham's going to control this one into turn number 3.
Good block there by Daniel Falkingham. Kyler Wynn went down to try to take it. Falkingham was expecting it. Falkingham blocks, but now you see the tandem I had talked about earlier. Big tandem out, and I don't know if it's going to be... It looks like it's going to hurt him a little bit. Nathan Harper with a big run behind him.
Oh, there goes Kyler Wynn.
Wave of caution.
Spinning. No caution, no caution, no caution. It's the final lap of tonight's race, and there we go. We had some cars blinking out. Final lap White flag, Nathan Harper, Jackson Buys. It's just those two. I don't believe Jared Haynes can get there. It's going to be a duel. Can Jackson Buys scores first PGR win? Can the young kid pass a guy that's got a couple wins? And Nathan Harper, who's it going to be? It's going to be a drag race here in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Coming off turn number 4. Can the kid get it done? Haynes is waiting in the wings in case something happens. Buys to the outside. Harper cannot fence him. That's the new rule. Jackson Buys around Harper. He's got it. Jackson Buys to victory lane in PGR.
Wow, that is a great win by Jackson Buys, and just an example of the new rule that we had just put in place from the SummerSlam 499, because it looked like Harper thought about walling him, but then he thought a little bit better of it with that new rule. He would have been penalized for it by knowing that the best run and best chance he had at winning the race was to go up. He took it, and what a win.
Yeah, a big win. Obviously, an upset win here tonight, but, I mean, really, Jackson Buys has really showed us what he can do here in the last month. He did a great job in the PGR SummerSlam 499. We've seen him throughout the money racing community. He gets the biggest win probably of his money racing career here as Jackson Buys. You see Landon Velicki going out there, give him a little tap from behind, and that's what happens when you got some respect out there. And you're going to have to put some respect on the name of Jackson Buys and that number 33 Subway Toyota, burning them down here at the World Center of Racing on that famous grass. You saw Dale Earnhardt do it a long time ago. Now Jackson Buys gets to victory lane, and man, he's going to be one excited kid up here in the interview room in just a short bit. And we'll keep it on him as he keeps celebrating here. Jackson Buys, you see the grass flying up here on the racetrack. He's going to have some fun here tonight in victory lane. What a win it was, and what a move on Nathan Harper coming to the green or to the checkered flag. And a great rule, really, Kody, from Baker to put in place, because we've seen that too many times where, you know, a car can just go up the racetrack and really just kind of barely fence somebody, not wreck them, but it just manipulates the finish too much. And we saw a drag race to line.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Nathan Harper, I'm going back and reviewing this, and it doesn't look very good because the initial contact with Kyler Wynn, if you look at it, he bumps Kyler Wynn a couple times, and then it looks like he just bumper hooks him here. I'm going to look at it one more time if you could get it up on the broadcast. He gets a good run on Kyler. Jackson Buys is behind him, but it's not looking very good because he gets Kyler loose and then he continues to drive through him and he spun him there. So I'm going to have to give that EOL to Nathan Harper.
And here I am back. Sorry, Kody, I'm taking a peek at this now. Nathan Harper on Kyler Wynn. Yeah, wow, off the front bumper of Wynn there. And that's what starts this all as Harper finishes in second. So essentially the pass never was going to matter for Buys, but he gets it done regardless. Got to feel good about that. Crossing the finish line first, no matter what, with Jackson Buys. But that's going to alter the finishing position here. It could be appealed after the race, but we're going to take it as Jackson Buys, Jared Haynes, Joe Horta. Your top three. We're going to have to get Joe Horta into the booth. I believe he actually is. Joe Horta. Man, after an EOL late in the race, under 10 laps to go, you overcome it. A penalty to the runner-up Nathan Harper, and you get third place here tonight. A podium finish, Joe. Man, walk us through it.
Yeah, man. Dude, I always find a way to, like, podium in PGR in the worst ways possible, but I'll take it. I ran a horrible race. I wrecked Dylan, my teammate, when he had a chance to win, and I owe him his entry back for that. So other than that, it was pretty good. That final green white checker or whatever, I told them I was sticking to the bottom and just hoping and praying they were gonna wreck, and of course they did. So I'll take it when it happens, but I wish it would have been in a better way. But that's how it goes.
Well, we got your teammate up here as well. We might as well bring it both in. Jared Haynes, a runner-up position here. So you guys, the Jack Shack, man, 2 and 3 here tonight. It was an uneventful race really throughout the first half, and then obviously the Carlbahn caution, your teammate kind of exiting there on the apron, which brought out that first caution, Jared, and it kind of turned the race upside down, brought you guys closer to the front of the pack, because really there were 6 guys out there, and you guys couldn't catch them.
Yeah, that third line just wasn't working tonight. But before that, what you're talking about with the gap that we had, it was horrible. We couldn't get the pushes right. Nothing was going right for us.
Well, hey, at the end of the day, Joe comes all the way back from that EOL, and really there's base and kind of parachuting there in the middle. Obviously, different speeds there. Doesn't look like anything malicious there, Joe, unfortunately. But hey, man, just walk us through your mindset there. You get that late EOL. You got to come through the field, but a little bit smaller field here tonight, and a little bit more manageable. And a big wreck happens there late in the race, and you're able to kind of squeeze through. Like you said, hey, you kind of luck into some of these, but at the end of the day, man, you're here standing on top of the podium tonight. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, the UL sucks. I didn't want that to happen at all, but just kind of the energy, but especially with this car, people are going to get impatient, especially in that last few laps, and a wreck is going to happen. So I knew the EOL was kind of a blessing in disguise, and there was a 20 car pile up, so put me in a good spot. But and I told them coming out of 3, coming to white, I told them I'm going to stick bottom and just pray. That was my game plan, and the seats opened, and all 3 of us squeaked through, Jared, me, and Trevor. So we'll take it when we can get it. But yeah.
That top line just was not working. Second line, third line, none of it was working. So that was our kind of plan, was just get on the bottom.
Well, it worked here tonight. Before we let you go, Joe, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Obviously the Jack Shack. We were in there working, even though it's a tough race, tough situation. We're always in there having fun. So I appreciate those guys a lot. Shout out to Dylan, because I owe him lunch tomorrow after my actions. So he's got a McValue coming his way.
Well, we love to hear it. We love to have you racing here, Joe. Gonna get your name back into that PGR eSports all-time stats here tonight. Congrats on the podium.
Thank you, bud.
And we also have you still here, Jared Haynes, moving up to that runner-up position. One outside that, that winner's position here tonight. Little scrapes up there on the left side of the race car. Nonetheless, man, another runner-up finish. Great job here tonight. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Jack Shack, family, y'all for putting on the broadcast and the event. It's always fun over here. I was really close. If I had one more corner there, I feel like I would have had a big, huge run that they wouldn't have been able to do anything about. But such is life. So appreciate y'all. Great race as usual. Have a good night, guys.
All right, thank you. Take care and enjoy that runner-up victory or runner-up finish tonight.
Thank you.
All right, well, we're gonna jump aboard here, and we are gonna go to the happiest man here at the World Center of Racing. And man, he's not I don't even know if he's a man yet. It's a young buck. His name, Jackson Bison, the number 33 Subway Machine. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, wow, hey, man, we got to get a little bit more excited than that here, buddy. What a win it was. You get one of the biggest wins of your money racing career. Hey, Nathan Harper might have got that EOL, but he gets it after the checkered finish here tonight, so it's got to feel nice to make the move on him. Coming outside turn number 4 to the line, you get past him there. A really clean finish there. Walk us through that last lap as the seas parted, and it's just you and Nathan Harper there with a duel to the finish.
Well, there was a point where I figured me and Nathan were going to get boxed in when the top side was rolling, and Kyler shot down, heading down into 3 and 4, and that's whenever we got our momentum back. I knew Nathan was going to be getting the Kyler, so I was feathering the throttle as much as I could. I didn't know when he was going to get to him. Finally got to him, I checked up, and then I got hit again, and that hooked Kyler. I thought I saw Daniel make it through, and then next thing I knew, it was just me and Nathan racing for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're watching this back on the replay right now. I mean, just a textbook move. We got a new rule here in PGR where that lead car cannot go up the racetrack and kind of fence, the car trying to make the pass. They got to leave a lane. He does that. And, it allowed you to guys really race clean coming to that finish line. Obviously, we talked about Harper getting that EOL, but like we said, it comes after you guys already completed. So you complete the move. It's got to be nice to obviously, not have to just kind of win by default there. A great move. Here we see it right outside of Harper. Harper's going to go down the racetrack. He's going to come back up here to side draft just a little bit. But, man, what a move. Here's the thing, Jackson. We've seen you now here in the last month and a half in PGR. We saw you in the SummerSlam 499 and how well you have done, and it all pays off tonight with a big, huge victory here. And, hey, it might put you in to that 30 driver randomizer a week from tonight at Talladega, man. How does that feel?
Feels nice. 3 years it took me to win a race in this community.
Well, it's the biggest one, the biggest night of the week, the one everyone wants. And, man, you get it done here tonight. And, we saw some drivers even congratulating you. Nathan Harper did after the checkered flag, as did Landon Velke. And that's when you really have the respect of other drivers.
Yeah, me and Nathan have been friends for quite a while, since I got back on the sim back in 2023. And me and Landon are friends because we're both from Bama, both War Eagle fans. A lot of Bama people in this community.
Well, man, wow, that was I'm still catching my breath. It was a great call to make. I was glad I was able to make that winning call for you here tonight. Hopefully you can go back and watch that, send it to your friends and family, man, because that's a big one right there. We're going to etch your name into the PGR all-time stats here tonight. Get that posted up for you, man. Can't take this win away from you, Jackson. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Friends and family, and anyone who's been pulling for me.
Hey, man, well, we appreciate it. Make sure you get some sleep. Don't celebrate too hard, man. We'll see you out here again shortly, and hopefully see you next week. Appreciate you.
See you. Have a good night.
That was your race winner. Jackson buys the biggest victory of his young career. And, man, he is so deserving of that. What a night it was here in PGR eSports as we hop back in the next gen here at Daytona. And, man, next week, it's a big one, a special event. Only 30 drivers will take the green flag. They'll be vetted. It's going to be a de facto all-star race at Talladega in the Gen 6. It'll be the first time ever a team duo randomizer race. Will throw 30 names in a hat and will randomize all the teams. And it's the top 2 drivers with the best average finishing position who will win, as tiebreakers go to the highest finishing driver. As of right now, the winner might not win anything. It's all about your duo next week, and it's going to be a who's who of the money racing community. And we will get that race results up here before we head out. Jackson buys on top of the pylon here at Daytona. Nathan Harper, he is going to rock it down to the bottom of the lead lap cars. So he will get that EOL. Haynes is going to move up to second. Horta to third. Bazinez fourth. Ashfrenoff fifth. Vondell, a great run, sixth. They'll get a free entry in a couple weeks. Stallnick finishes in seventh. White, a great finish. He's having a good week. Finishes in eighth. Velke, ninth. Merck in 10th. Carl Bond actually will finish in 11th. Malik Ray, 12th. Kyler Wynn, 13th. Kobe Nill, 14th. Falkingham, 15th. Kenny Reel in 16th. Axel Smith in 17th. Well, 18th will be, I believe, Galtney. And then you'll have 19th, which will be the EOL to Harper. It'll be then Miles in 20th, Young 21st, Josh McCullough in 22nd, Larry McDonald 23rd, Kenny McCullough Jr. in 24th, Michael Guest 25th, Cameron Craighead 26th, Brock Westmoreland 27th, David Justin 28th, Justin Melikar 29th, Brian Hennings 30th, Kody Etchley 31st, and rounding out your 32-car field here tonight, that'll be Dylan Basin. So that's it for another Thursday night of Intimidator Superspeedway Series racing. We'll be back with you on Monday night for the PGR Light Series preseason. And then it'll be the PGR eSports randomizer race next Thursday night in the Gen 6 at Talladega, a 30-car de facto all-star race. And that'll be Labor Day weekend. We'll be off for the Monday night of Labor Day, and we'll pick back up that Thursday after Labor Day with the Intimidator Speedway Series. So another great night here at Daytona, and we appreciate all you watching here tonight. We will talk to you all soon, and it was a good one. Appreciate you guys. Good night from PGR Esports.